Situated 2 miles to the west of the town of Ballymena in County Antrim, Gracehill village dates from 1759. It's the only complete Moravian settlement in Ireland, and it is characterised by classic Georgian architecture. The Moravian church remains central to the village, facing the square and flanked by the manse and the warden's house. To this day it is a place for meditation and relaxation. Built in 1787 as a shop, this building also served as a post office until recently. Inside the church, unusually the communion table and carved tulip pulpit are on the long wall. The Moravian Church is ecumenical in outlook and allows freedom in doctrinal thinking. Though emphasising the centrality of Jesus Christ in all things, Christian fellowship and Christian service are considered to be vital features of any true church. One of the mottos of the church is, in essentials, unity, in non-essentials, liberty, in all things, charity. These beautiful textile panels show the history of Gracehill Moravian Church. Panel 1 on the left is the Christmas Advent Star and the church clock tower. Panel 2 has a woman in traditional white worked Moravian costume and the words simplicity, piety and charity. The third panel has a map of the world featuring worldwide missions and the church organ. All have additional wording with borders of various plants, flowers and leaves. God's acre. The name comes from the belief that the bodies of the dead are sown as seed in God's acre, as in a field, so that they can rise again when Jesus Christ returns to the world. God's acre is not literally 1 acre in size. Many are larger or smaller. This one is actually 5.5 acres. Moravians believe strongly in equality, even in death. Therefore, every stone in God's acre is a recumbent stone with the same proportions and made of the same material, so that no one person stands out among the stones. The communion of saints is continued even on the graveyard, as it reflects the continuity of the congregation. In addition, the deceased are buried by choir. To the Moravians, these were the living groups into which the congregation was originally divided to meet the needs of the members according to their age and station in life. Originally, men and women sat in their choir groups in church at worship. The burial by choir in God's acre also reflects the way the members of the congregation sat as a worshipping community, so that visually the congregation continues in the graveyard. The old school originally built in 1765 as the Single Sisters House, with a day school to the rear. It was later the ladies' school, then a private academy, and finally in 1931 it became a state school. It has recently been restored by the Gracehill Old School Trust. Arriving at Gracehill Old School, their Royal Highnesses were greeted by Mrs. Joan Christie OBE, Lord Lieutenant of County Antrim. In the old schoolroom, they viewed a number of primary school children and 2 living history characters reenacting a classroom situation from the 1820s. After their Royal Highnesses left, the senior class took their positions for a photograph.
Okay, folks, ready?
The Moravian Church at Gracehill played a leading role in the provision of elementary and secondary education in the Ballymena area during the latter half of the 18th and most of the 19th centuries. The Moravians were renowned for their high standard of education, and there were for some time day and boarding schools for both boys and girls in the village. The women of Gracehill wore coloured ribbons on their bonnets to signify their status. Cherry red for young girls, pink for single ladies, blue for married women, and white for widows. To round off our very pleasant visit to Gracehill Moravian Church, James took our orders from a selection of sweets provided by the Millside restaurant.
Fresh cream, hot chocolate fudge cake with vanilla ice cream and fresh fruit salad, jam sponge pudding.
I'll take that one.
Jam sponge.
I'll take the pavlova.
Jam sponge. 1 pavlova.